you own a home or have plans to in the future? Or are you upside down in your mortgage and need help? Tune in right now to the Call Toni Real Estate Radio Show with Toni Patillo and her co-host Carla Dennis. This is where you come to learn about buying real estate. Here's Toni.
Hello, Los Angelinos. I'm your host, Toni Patillo, and you're listening to Call Toni Real Estate Radio here on KTLK AM 1150. I'm here with my co-host, Carla Dennis in the house. April Kass is the marketing director for LaRocca Inspections. As you know, LaRocca is one of our expert participants and partners. Buying a home is one of the most substantial investments that you'll ever make. And at LaRocca Inspections, their goal is to ensure that clients fully understand what they're buying. And they do this by identifying defects that would significantly affect the property and therefore may affect your buying decision. So LaRocca Inspections is dedicated to providing the best inspections in the industry, and each inspector undergoes continuing education and is extraordinarily qualified to perform inspections that surpass typical industry standards. Thank you so much for coming back. We love having you on the show. We have so much fun every time you come on.
That's right. There are so many things you can find on a home inspection, and as a seller, you want to get the best price for your property. When you're listing your home, that's right, you want to get the highest and best price. There's really no other reason to sell your home. You want the most you can get. And what happens, unfortunately, is you get into escrow with a buyer who seems serious, and you've turned maybe other buyers away. Perhaps right now we have a lot of multiple offer situations. Now you're in escrow with a buyer who may or may not buy this property. And when they get the inspection done, when they find out certain things that surprise them about the property, they may be liable to fall out of escrow. They may decide they don't want the property. So being upfront about everything, you're not going to change the conditions. No. And in fact, if you know about them, you at least have the opportunity to change some of the smaller things, to fix some of the little things and say, hey, we did an inspection. Here's what we found. We've repaired these few things, and there's still a couple issues, but we're listing the property as is. We're disclosing it all, and we're not negotiating these things. We've priced it with these, taking these factors into consideration. So it's a great idea. Most people don't do it. I wish I would. You're doing yourself a disservice if you spend the $300 and then maybe you spent another $500 or $1,000 doing minor repairs. Just like you as a realtor, you probably are always trying to get people to enhance the curb appeal. Put in $500 or $1,000, maybe $2,000 in order to get a better price when you actually get a buyer.
Right.
You can have all sorts of inspections done, termite, geological. You can have a special pool inspection done or roof certification done. These are just a few of the things that people tend to get relatively frequently. Right. A home inspection is almost every property because otherwise you sign away your right in California to have it done, and you sort of open yourself up to liability that way. We do moisture and mold investigation, and it's very different than your home inspection is. They use different tools. They use the use of thermography, which is a camera that helps them detect the levels of heat in the walls and floors and baseboards. And you open this, door, and out comes this guy running out, and he just darted out the house. So they never caught him or anything. But he was squatting in one of the houses we did a mold inspection on. Foreclosed property, I think.
Yikes.
And that's not the story I was going to tell you. The weirdest story that I heard recently was we got hired by a guy who wanted us to do a mold inspection on his Prius.
And we want to remind you that we're here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Call Toni Real Estate Radio on KTLK AM 1150, where we're committed to bringing you tools for positive change. If you tuned in late and you'd like to go back and listen to the full show, please go to calltoni.com. That's calltoni.com, and click on the previous show's link. You can always call us on our off-air number. That's 888-309-9797. That's 888-309-9797. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and friend us on Facebook. And as always, we want you to have a magical, magical weekend. Thanks for tuning in.